Hi, my name is John Sewell. I'm making this video as part of a Masters of Educational Neuroscience with Central Queensland University. The particular course for which I'm making this video is Remote Learning Informed by Neuroscience. This unit provides professional upskilling in remote learning that uses contemporary neuroscientific understandings. I will be discussing resources that can be used for both remote learning and normal classroom teaching. I will discuss the use of a learning management system for both classroom teaching and for use in remote teaching and learning. The particular LMS that I have used and am currently using is Canvas. I will also discuss how Canvas can be used in the flipped classroom modality, a pedagogical model that has gained some acceptance over recent years. Canvas is an LMS developed by Instructure with cloud-based accessibility, making it easily available in most remote learning environments. From my personal experience, it can be used for normal classroom learning, as a flexible tool for remote learning, and for flipped classroom teaching. In a traditional classroom setting, Canvas is useful for differentiated lessons. These can typically be posted on Canvas as detailed notes on concepts to be taught at various levels of difficulty for the lesson. These would often be prepared by teachers to explicitly teach specific important concepts, what might be termed the content of the course. That is, what ought to be remembered. There can also be links to suitable videos, e.g. YouTube videos and self-produced videos or teacher-produced videos. Canvas is very useful for posting regular quick quizzes to check for long-term memory, regular detailed assessments to check for memory and comprehension, and various assessment methods to assess comprehension. Canvas is useful for remote learning. It allows the publication of content, again detailing aspects that need to be committed to long-term memory. Again, it enables easy differentiation of lessons to cater for students of varied capabilities. This can be easily achieved by having links to either simplified or more advanced presentations of key concepts being presented. Canvas provides the flexibility to regularly test content knowledge with quick quizzes. These can be automatically marked within the program, particularly if done as multiple choice or true-false questions. It facilitates assignment submission, as assignments can be used to challenge comprehension and assess understanding using a variety of methods. Assignments can be pre-posted to show students all that will be required of them throughout the topic or course. Assignments are a way for the teacher to provide students practice and application using the content knowledge and skills they've learned. Canvas provides grade tracking as students complete assigned work for the benefit of both the student and the teacher. Teachers can provide self-produced videos or YouTube videos to assist comprehension. Now onto the flipped classroom approach, where students cover the content in their own time so that application, discussion and practice can be accomplished in class time. There are advantages in using the flipped classroom approach, including having valuable classroom time to apply concepts learned remotely, being able to spend time on student misconceptions, and having students take some responsibility for their personal learning. Some caution, however. A meta-analysis of 173 institutions from elementary school to tertiary levels, done by Young in 2023, pointed out some problems across the board with flipped classrooms. The amount of passive learning involved was high, which is what flipped learning was meant to alleviate. From my personal experience, this works very well with a motivated class, where students prioritise their time for their education. If the school community does not have this priority, or if students have to often work to finance themselves to school, or prioritise sporting cultural interests, the pre-learning may not be done, so the teacher may have to resort to more traditional pedagogies. However, as Young pointed out, if done carefully, there are some learning advantages. Young suggests a model of flipped learning, the fail, flip, fix, and feed model. Steps involved present students with a challenging concept or problem that they can't fully understand or solve because they haven't studied it fully yet. The failure will motivate them to look at some prepared material or video remotely. Classroom time can then be used to discuss student concerns and misconceptions. Application can follow classroom discussions and presentations. There are many advantages in using an LMS and flipped learning from a neuroscience perspective. For example, spaced repetition. This facilitates the transfer of data from working memory into long-term memory. Any pedagogy needs to accommodate the development over time of long-term memory. Neurodiversity. Using a learning management system allows multiple ways of presenting material to be learned with multiple ways of learning it, thereby assisting neurodiverse learners. Primacy and recency. What is learned first and what is learned last in a lesson are learned better. LMSs and flipped classrooms need to focus on the first part of the lesson and on the last part for better learning to take place. In the middle, other activities can be used to practice and apply what is learned. Neuroplasticity. When students actively engage in a learning activity, their brain develops. Any learning involves processing using the thalamus, through which all sensory information is processed. The hippocampus, responsible for transferring information from working memory into long-term memory. The amygdala, connected to emotional memory and is stimulated by interest, novelty, excitement, and various other parts of the brain, including the prefrontal cortex, where higher reasoning and judgment occur. Thus, any effective learning involves neuroplasticity. Regular testing of memory. Learning involves memory, at least in its most basic form. Regular testing reinforces memory and facilitates the transfer into long-term memory. Long-term memory. Working memory retains a limited number of items for around 20 seconds, unless it is transferred into long-term memory. This requires association with what is already known and repetition. Using LMSs effectively can accomplish good learning. Attention and focus. Learning occurs in a stimulating and interesting environment where students are regularly excited by a stimulus that causes the wow response. Good teachers, using varied presentation methods, can provide that interest regularly. Multiple modes. As mentioned numerous times, LMSs offer an almost unlimited number of ways, depending on the flexibility and creativity of the teacher, of presenting material to be learned, such as self-produced notes, professionally prepared presentations, online or self-made videos, using games or gamification, or a multitude of online presentations for any and all concepts to be learned. Metacognition. Various studies have shown that there are advantages for student learning if they have some understanding of the ways in which they learn better and are able to be cognitive about their own personal learning. It is quite simple to make metacognitive questions accessible in any learning management system, to make metacognition a normal and regular part of the learning process. Questions such as, what did I do? What did I do well? And what will I change next time? Are simple but helpful in giving an insight to students of their own learning processes. And finally, feedback. Feedback can be regularly given for project work, assignments, quizzes and tests. Thank you for listening to and watching this video. My hope is that you've been able to learn and will be able to apply some of the concepts presented. Thank you.